You lost a client last week. You just don't know it yet. Someone called your office, maybe a DUI arrest, maybe a felony charge, maybe a family member that's desperate, Googling defense lawyers at 2 a.m. They found you, they called, and somewhere between that first ring and a signed retainer, they disappeared. Here's the thing that kills me about this. You spent money to make that phone ring. SEO, Google ads, referrals, whatever it was, you invested real dollars and real time to get that person to pick up the phone and call your firm. And then your intake process lost them. I'm going to say something that might sting a little. Most criminal defense firms lose signed clients, not because of bad lawyering, but because their intake process is fundamentally broken. And the worst part, they don't even realize it's happening. They think the lead was bad. They think the person wasn't serious. They think the prospect just went with a cheaper attorney. Nope, your intake process let them walk right out the door. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Dave Revere. I'm the founder of Legal Tamer and author of Unlocking New Client Acquisition for Defense Lawyers. We help criminal defense firms grow through better marketing, intake, and follow-up systems. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact intake process that converts first calls into signed retainers step by step. Not theory, not motivational fluff, the actual process. By the end of this video, you'll be able to look at your own intake and see exactly where it's breaking down. Okay, so let's get into it. Why intake is the highest leverage thing you can fix. Here's why I'm so passionate about this. If you fix your intake process, everything else in your marketing gets better instantly. Your Google ads perform better because more of those clicks turn into consultations. Your SEO performs better because more of that organic traffic turns into signed clients. Your referrals convert at a higher rate. Every single dollar you spend on marketing becomes more effective when your intake process actually works. Think about it this way. If you're converting 20% of your leads into signed retainers right now, and you can get that to 40% just by fixing how you handle that first call and the follow-up, you just doubled your results without spending a single extra dollar on advertising. That's why I say intake is the highest leverage fix in your entire firm. Let me describe what I see in most criminal defense firms, and be honest with yourself as I go through this. Because if any of this sounds familiar, that's your sign. Okay, number one, the phone rings and it goes to voicemail. Or worse, it goes to a receptionist who takes a message and says, the attorney will call you back. In criminal defense, that is a death sentence for your conversion rate. The person calling you is scared. They might be sitting in the parking lot after getting released. Their spouse might be in jail right now. They're not leaving a voicemail and patiently waiting for a callback. They're calling the next attorney on the list. That's just the reality. Number two, when someone does answer, they treat it like an information debt. What are you charged with? Okay, let me take your number and have someone call you back. No warmth, no urgency, no attempt to actually connect with this person who is going through one of the worst days of their life. Number three, no follow-up. Someone calls, maybe you play phone tag once or twice, and then the lead just dies. No text, no email, no system, just gone. And number four, no confirmation after the consultation. The prospect comes in, has a great conversation with the attorney, walks out the door, and hears nothing until they either call back to sign or they don't. That silence is where you lose people. And number five, no CRM, no tracking, no accountability. You have no idea how many leads came in last month, how many turned into consultations, and how many of those consultations turned into actual signed retainers. You're flying blind. Okay, so if any of that sounds like your firm, don't feel bad. This is the norm. But the norm is leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table every single month. So let's fix it. Let's look at the right intake flow, step by step. Here's the intake process that actually works. I'm going to walk you through each stage. The first step is first contact, speed to lead. When a lead comes in, whether it's a phone call, a web form, a chat widget, whatever, the single most important thing is speed. Speed to lead. This is not nice to have. This is everything. The data on this is overwhelming. If you respond to a lead within 5 minutes, you are dramatically more likely to connect with that person than if you wait 30 minutes. And in criminal defense, where the emotional urgency is already through the roof, that window is even smaller. Someone who just got arrested or whose son just got arrested is not waiting around. They are calling attorneys until someone picks up. You need to be the one who picks up. So what does that mean practically? It means your phone needs to be answered by a live human being during business hours, every single time, no exceptions. If you can't do that with your current staff, you need an answering service that specializes in legal intake. And there are good ones out there. After hours, you need at minimum an automated text back that goes out within 60 seconds of a missed call. Something like, "Thank you for calling Smith Defense. We received your call and someone from our team will be in touch within 15 minutes. If this is urgent, reply to this text and we'll prioritize your call." That text alone will keep more leads warm than you can imagine, because it tells the person, "I see you, I'm here. You're not going to fall through the cracks." Okay, step 2 is the first call, qualification and connection. Now, when you actually connect with that person, either live when they first call or on the callback, this is where most firms blow it up. They jump straight into interrogation mode. What are you charged with? When's your court date? Have you been arrested before? And look, you need that information eventually, but that can't be how you start. The person on the other end of that phone is terrified. They don't know what's going to happen to them. They don't know if they're going to lose their job, their license, their freedom. And the first thing you do is ask them to recite their charges like they're filling out a form. No. Here's what the first 60 seconds should sound like. And I mean this. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. You answer and you say something like this. "Thank you for calling. I'm glad you reached out. Before we get into the details, I just want you to know whatever you're going through right now, you've taken the right step by calling. We deal with situations like this every day, and there are options. All right, let's talk about what's going on." That's it. That's the difference. You've acknowledged their fear. You've told them they made the right decision. You've signaled competence. We deal with this every day. And you've invited them to talk, not fill out a form. Then, and only then, you move into qualification. You ask about the charges. You ask about the timeline. You ask about prior history if relevant. But you do it conversationally, not like a checklist. And throughout the call, you are listening to 2 things. Is this a case we can help with? And does this person seem ready to move forward? If the answer is yes to both, your goal is to book the consultation right there on the call. Not, "We'll call you back to schedule," not, "Check our website for available times." You book it right now while the urgency is high and the trust is building. Okay, step 3 is consultation confirmation. Here's where it gets tactical. After you book that consultation within 10 minutes, and I mean 10 minutes, not an hour, not tomorrow, that person should receive a confirmation. I'm talking about an email and a text. The email includes the date, time, location, or video link, the attorney's name, what to bring, and what to expect. The text is shorter, just the basics with a friendly tone. Why does this matter so much? Because between the time someone books a consultation and the time they actually show up, doubt creeps in. They start Googling other attorneys. They start wondering if they even need a lawyer. Their uncle tells them he knows a guy. Life gets in the way. That's confirmation. And the follow-up reminders you send the day before and the morning of, they keep your firm top of mind and they reduce no-shows dramatically. Okay, step 4, the consultation itself. I'm not going to tell you how to run your consultation. You're the attorney, not me. But I will say this from a business development standpoint. The consultation should end with clarity. The prospect should walk out knowing exactly what the next step is, what it costs, and what happens if they move forward. Don't leave it vague. Don't say, "Think about it and get back to me." Give them a clear path. Here's what I recommend. Here's what it costs. If you'd like to move forward, we can get the retainer agreement signed today. If they need time, that's fine, but give them a timeline. I'd love to hear from you by Friday so we can get started before your court date. Okay, step 5 is the follow-up sequence. This is the one thing that separates firms that convert at 20% from firms that convert at 40% or higher. It's the follow-up. If someone has a consultation and doesn't sign on the spot, most firms do nothing. Maybe the attorney sends one email, maybe the receptionist calls once, and then the lead goes cold. Here's the follow-up cadence I recommend, and it does not feel desperate. It feels professional. Within 1 hour of the consultation, send a recap email. This is the thing most firms skip entirely, and it's one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. The recap email summarizes what was discussed, restates the recommended course of action, includes the fee, and provides a clear next step. It should feel like a helpful summary, not a sales pitch. Something like, "Hi, John, it was great meeting with you today. Here's a summary of what we discussed and my recommendations for your case. If you'd like to move forward, just reply to this email or give us a call at this number and we'll get the retainer agreement sent over." That email right there does something incredibly important. It gives the prospect something to show their spouse, their family, whoever is helping them make the decision. When someone goes home and their wife says, "What did the lawyer say?" they can forward that email. That's powerful. Then on day 2, a brief text message. "Hi, John, just checking in. Let me know if you have any questions about what we discussed yesterday. We're here to help." Day 4, another email. This one can include a relevant resource, maybe a blog post about their specific charge or a frequently asked question about the court process. You're adding value, not just pinging them. Day 7 is a phone call, a real human phone call. "Hi, John, I'm calling from Smith Defense. I wanted to follow up on your consultation with Mr. Smith last week. Do you have any questions I can help with?" Day 4, and this is one final email. "Hi, John, I wanted to reach out one last time. I understand these decisions take time. If your situation has changed or you'd like to move forward, we're here. Wishing you the best regardless." That's it. 5 touches over 2 weeks. Professional, helpful, not desperate. And if your CRM is set up correctly, which we'll talk about this in a second, this entire sequence can be automated every single touch point except the phone call. Okay, let's move into step 6, CRM and automation. If you're doing any of this manually, tracking leads in your head, following up with sticky notes, relying on your memory, you're leaving money on the table, period. You need a CRM. Doesn't have to be fancy, but it has to do 3 things. Track every lead that comes in, automate your follow-up sequences, and give you data on your conversion rates at every stage. When we set up intake systems for our firms, we use automated workflows that trigger the moment a new lead enters the system. The confirmation texts, the reminder emails, the follow-up sequence, all of it runs automatically. The attorney and the intake team can focus on the human parts, the phone calls, the consultations, the relationship building, while the system handles the repetitive communication. And here's the most important part of having a CRM in place. It's visibility. You should be able to pull up a dashboard and see, last month we had 85 new leads. 62 of those became consultations. 31 of those signed retainers. That's a 36% lead to retainer conversion rate. If you don't know those numbers, you can't improve them. And if you can't improve them, you're just guessing. Okay, so let me recap the whole flow. A lead calls or fills out a form. Within 5 minutes, ideally instantly, a real person connects with them by phone or text back goes out. On that first call, you lead with empathy, you qualify the case, and you book the consultation on the spot. Within 10 minutes, a confirmation goes out by email and text. The day before and morning of, reminders go out. After the consultation, a recap email goes out within an hour. Then your automated follow-up sequence runs over the next 2 weeks. That's it. That's the system. It's not complicated, but it requires discipline. It requires a CRM, and it requires someone in your firm to own it from start to finish. If you fix this one thing, just this one thing, I promise you'll sign more clients without spending a single extra dollar on marketing. The leads are already coming in. You just have to stop losing them. Now, next week, I'm going to show you exactly how criminal defense firms should actually be running Google ads in 2026. What's working, what's burning cash, and the one thing most agencies will never tell you. If you're spending anything on Google ads right now, you can't miss this one. Hey, if this was helpful, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button and drop a comment below. Tell me, what's the biggest hole in your current intake process? I read every comment and I'll respond. If you know another defense attorney who needs to hear this, share it with them. And I'll see you in the next one.